All right, friends, it's Kate here with the Mom Boss Mentor, and today I have a very special guest. Welcome, Channing, to the show. Channing has an amazing story of how she took a moment in life and made it into a business when most people were probably avoiding starting new adventures. So, Channing, welcome to the show. Do you want to tell us where you're from and a little bit about you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm here in the United States, your friendly neighbor. But I kind of had my world rocked by COVID, which a lot of people did. But instead of looking at it as a negative turning point, I decided, how can I turn this into something positive? Quite honestly, although COVID had a lot of bad things come out of it, there was also a ton of blessings that came out of it as well. And so because of COVID, I now own my own business. I don't work for anybody else, and I'm an author, and I moved into a new home. There's a whole lot of good that came out of it too.
I know you had a lot of life moments happen at once, and sometimes people always look for the perfect time to start a
Mm-hmm.
business. I think you kind of just showed that there's no perfect time. Like
Right.
now is the best time. So, what was the moment or the catalyst to say, I don't want to work for somebody else, or I can't work for somebody else, and I'm going to do my own thing?
So I think for me, it was when I first got into insurance, I was a captive agent. And that means that you do work for somebody else. They set your schedule, they set your commissions, they tell you how and when and what to do. And so although it's kind of pushed at you as, oh, you work for yourself, that's really not the case. And the company that I happen to work for, after several months of being there, I found out morally and ethically we don't line up. And so at that point, I kind of looked back on my life and I said, you know what? I've never really been a good employee. Like I've always been underpaid or underutilized or just frustrated by the system, or I'm the one that wants to break the mold. I'm the rebel. And so when you say this is your scope of work and this is what you're going to do, instantaneously I'm like, but what about all this over here? And so I decided that I was done working for other people. I wanted to set the rules, and I wanted to be responsible for the failure or the success of whatever I do next in life.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like I just wanted to like shout out hashtag same girl same because I was also a terrible employee. And I,
Yep.
creative spirits or people who are just a little bit more driven or a little bit more creative have a really hard time being an employee, and they feel sometimes that it's something wrong with them. And
Right.
I think you're and I are both on the same page. Like nothing wrong with you. Like some
Mm-hmm.
people are just not meant to be an employee.
Right.
So you have now used the launch pad of your own company for insurance, but also kind of use that as a launch pad to give you the freedom to do something else that kind of filled your cup. Do you want to talk to us about that?
Yeah. So I am a Christian, and I am the crazy one that has really vivid dreams from God. I think he knows I'm a really visual person, and so that's how he can best speak to me. And so I kept dreaming of books over and over, or chapters of books or stories. And so I just decided, well, why wouldn't that mean that I'm supposed to write them? Because the books don't exist. And so if I dreamed, I'd write a book or I'd write a chapter. And so now I've got 15 kids' books that are all based on my grandparents or my family, on their core character qualities that I learned from, and some family favorite memories. And then a novel, my first novel, I'm already halfway through my second novel, about my failures as a leader, and kind of how I didn't realize that I was the problem. Have you seen that video where the girl goes, I just got back from therapy and turns out I'm the drama,
Oh,
you know? And
I
so,
haven't seen that. No.
yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of my leadership experience. I was sitting there going, why isn't everybody just doing what I want them to do? And why aren't they behaving in the way I want them to behave? And then, hindsight's 2020, looking back going, I was the problem. They
Mhm.
weren't the problem, it was me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what that book's about.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, like I think a lot of mom bosses will need to read that book because we can always learn something to level up our leadership. Whether
Mm-hmm.
you're a team of one or you have employees or whatever, you've got coworkers, like let's be honest, like introspective is very good too. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I love that. All right. So how do you fit it in running multiple businesses? Because I think that that's something people also kind of hesitate, like, ooh, like I only can do one thing at a time. And you're saying you can do multiple things at time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just realizing where your gifts and where your strengths are, right? Because so I've got OCD and ADHD. Now, detail orientation, that's not my jam. It really is not, but that's where I need to make sure I have other people in my corner. But I think as long as you realize what your gifts are, if a single business is you, there's nothing wrong with that. But if a single business bores you, which is was what's happening with me, then it's time to go, okay, is it because I'm not doing enough in this business or because I need another piece of the pie to really fully get into my purpose and why I'm here on this earth? And I think as long as you have a harsh critic, a loud cheerleader, and a wise counsel, then you're going to be totally fine. And most of the time, you cannot be all three to yourself. You're normally one, maybe two to yourself. Like I know for me, I'm a harsh critic. I can do that for myself all day long.
You don't
Right.
need
But
anyone for that job, hey? Oh,
exactly. But I need a loud cheerleader and I need a wise counsel. So now I have a mentor and I lean on my husband a lot. But I think making sure that you realize like who am I to me and who do I need to get around me in order to make sure that I am making a wise choice by having two businesses or by juggling or by taking a break or by going on, a 5-day hiatus and I don't do anything at all. And so that's really important.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I think it took a long time to realize that, it's okay to say, I can't do it all,
Right.
or, I just need somebody. And, sometimes I don't want my husband to be that person.
Right.
Like, no, I just want to tell you, I don't want you to fix it. I just want to tell you
Right.
the problem,
Right.
then you need a girlfriend or somebody else that you can just like download on and not have fix, right? And so I think that's really, really awesome advice. Okay, so where can they find your book? Because I know I need it. So where can we find your book?
Yeah, easiest place is Amazon because then you get the speedy shipping too. And then that's where all my kids' books are as well. I do have a website, but I'll be honest, it costs more money buying direct from me because I'm having to pay the shipping. So I say just go Amazon. It's going to be the cheapest and fastest way to get it.
So they can just search your name.
Yep, I've got an author page on Amazon, or you can look up "Don't Be a Lemon," and then it'll pull up my book. And then if you click on my name, it'll actually pull up all the other books.
Oh,
So,
I love that so much. Okay, so do you have any advice for someone who's kind of like, ooh, I'd love to like be my own insurance agent or be an author because you kind of wear two different hats if you're doing
mhm.
it literally. So, what is your advice, your top advice?
I say gut check. If it feels right, try it
Hmm.
because there's nothing wrong with failing. In fact, I think that it's important to fail in life. It's one of the things I try and teach my kids is please fail because then we know, well, we need to work on that or that was not for me. I never need to worry about doing that again. Like I am not an actress. So I don't need to worry about going and being in plays or, working on this skill or like it's a waste of time for me because it's not what my calling is. But if I hadn't had gotten on a stage and tried it, I probably would have never known.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's such a good advice. Well, thank you so much, Channing. Really, really appreciate you highlighting that you can take any moment in time and pursue your passions if you just have the courage to listen to that gut and just take the leap, right? So,
Yep.
thank you so much for all your advice. And anyone that is listening to it, definitely connect with her, grab her book on Amazon in the links in the comments, and then subscribe now to share and hear more stories of people that have made that switch just like Channing. Thank you so much.